I'm fucking 24, mate. Fucking all I want to do, man, is fucking paint trains.
Jisoe is an independent documentary directed by Eddie Martin. Filmed in 2000, it follows a year in the life of Justin Hughes, a troubled young man who lives on the wrong side of the law. Justin, more commonly known as Jisoe or Jizlad, is a graffiti artist who routinely train bombs, the act of illegally spray painting trains. Justin found himself turfed out of home at age 14 and was given youth homeless allowance from Centrelink with nothing else to go off. Thus, he was forced to adapt to life on the streets. Justin's sense of identity is strongly tied to his law-breaking behavior. He feels empowered by his independence and aptitude with street culture. He uses graffiti as an artistic release and to keep him off drugs. He sees doing graffiti as purely something you do for your own self-satisfaction. He understands it to be selfish and illegal, but he also sees it as far more beneficial and productive than the alternative. Graffiti gives him a sense of purpose, and so he feels strongly about posers and privileged people encroaching on his culture.
If you're gonna claim you're some fucking writer, you gotta hit trains, you know? So like half of my mates, they don't even paint trains, they just bomb trains flat out. But I can respect a dude that packs a marker than some cunt that and then does some permission wall.
At first glance, it is easy to laugh at Justin's manner of speech and brush him off as an idiot. Undoubtedly, the way he speaks is charmingly Australian.
Fucking trains. Trains. Right.
But it's important to remember that Justin is a real human.
As much as people don't think it, I'm still fucking sane as. Fuck, I don't want to be like 5 years later, when my kid's like, you know, just about to start school and I'm fucking lost my brain, you know?
That is why it is so important that Jisoe is presented in the form of a documentary. Documentaries provide far more authentic feeling than a film can, by showing us the life of a man in hardship as opposed to presenting an artistic interpretation of it. The viewer is far more likely to relate with the subject on a personal level. The documentary remains sympathetic to Justin without romanticizing his lifestyle. The film uses a lot of B-roll, showing Justin breaking the law in a manner of ways, set to melancholy music while he narrates with a voiceover. The narration is important because it gives him a platform to speak his mind and share his views with a far wider audience than would normally even give him the time of day. The documentary touches on the critical themes of drug abuse, mental health, petty crime, the flaws of the criminal justice system, and cycles of poverty. While Justin is mentally aware of the situation he finds himself in, he struggles heavily to find a way out. The documentary shows us the life of a man grappling between fatherhood, maturity, and getting a job versus doing what he loves. Herein lies Justin's struggle. If he quits painting trains, he won't have any passions left to pursue, and he feels he'll just fall back onto taking drugs and ruining his brain. Unfortunately, although graffiti has a lot of upsides for him, it comes with some severe negative effects. First and foremost, it is illegal in the eyes of the law. This battle with the legal system causes turmoil between him and his girlfriend and their newborn son, and causes her to leave him. The way Justin speaks about the legal system highlights its flaws. He understands that police tend to target the same people over and over because he's seen it happen to his friends, and it's been happening to him as well. There's a clip where Justin speaks about how the police have treated him. He alleges that the police were attempting to confuse him with legal jargon while simultaneously trying to get any information out of him they could through observation. Justin sees that the police have the exact same gang mentality that him and his crew does, and he feels that they purposefully target people such as him in order to feel better about themselves and to feel as if they're making some kind of meaningful change in the world, when in reality, all they're doing is keeping a poor man down.
They've shut me down emotionally, not physically.
The way Justin is presented in the film is hardly non-biased, but it isn't unfair or cruel. The film regularly marries footage of Justin breaking the law in some way, sets it to melancholy music, and then allows him to narrate over the top about how he wants to get his life on the right track. It is constructed in this way so that you empathize with his behavior. You and him both know the extent of his wrongness, but also how much worse it could truly be for him. You understand his desire to escape this cycle of poverty he's found himself in. He speaks about how his father only cares about money, and how that's what bit him in the end, and he wants to make a change and break the cycle. He wants to be a respectable parent for his son. Despite all these wishes, the system seems focused entirely on pushing him down, telling him that he can't be fixed in order to boost their public image and make it appear as if they are doing good work for their community. Jisoe is a very important piece of media within the Australian film landscape. It shows us a common sight on the streets of Melbourne, but one that often goes undocumented, unheard, and unseen. This film, now 20 years old, still feels very relevant today.